Yeah. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, man. Shabbat Shalom. So yeah, y'all already know, man. We've been digging on some corn, trying to figure out what's going on with it. You know, it's a lot going on right now, man. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. You know, so I wonder, has this corn been genetically mutated? I don't know. You'll see. Definitely gonna see. So yeah, we definitely gonna see. So yeah, I was doing some homework. You know, pretty much that's what I do. I spend a lot of time digging. You know, and I've learned to not take other people's words. So you got here hybrid corn. Oh yeah, you got hybrid corn. They got all kinds of corn. Yes, that is. Well, they got different corn. Just I don't know. This StreamYard is kind of slow. It doesn't move fast enough for me, so I haven't figured out how to screen share live yet. So just bear with me till I get me one of them nasty Macs. You know, all the high rollers, the big strollers. You know what I mean? They got them. You know, they got them, man. Give me one sec. Check out this. Check out this corn. Ooh, I ain't even gonna start. It's time, yeah. It'll be time. We got plenty of time. We got plenty of time, man. Most High say don't stress about petty stuff. You know. Hosea 3. So it says, and the Lord said to me, go again, love a man, be loved by her companion, yet an adulteress, like the love of Hawa of the children of Israel, who turned to other gods and love goblets of grapes. See, y'all like the, hair is important now. You're trying to buy hair, you worshiping hair, you getting up. First thing go off in your mind is, who can I finesse to get my hair done? Who can I finesse to get me a new pair of Jordans? Who can I finesse to get some drugs or, these other gods, man? So yeah, chapter 2. And I bore her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and a chroma of barley, and a leacheth of barley. And I said to her, you shall remain as mine for many days. You shall not play the harlot. You shall not belong to another man. So will I be towards you. For the children of Israel shall remain for many days, having neither a king, nor a prince, nor a sacrifice, nor a pillar, nor ephod, nor teraphim. Verse 5, afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their Hawa and David their king, and they shall come trembling to Hawa and his goodness at the end of days. Hosea chapter 3. So yeah, digging on corn, man. I've been digging on corn trying to figure out, is this thing really a situation where they are this thing has some genetics involved? The evolution of corn, right? So this corn thing, so let me screen share. Let me this screen thing is kind of slow, so hold up, give me a minute. Yeah. So it says the evolution of corn, right? I'm gonna start here. The history of modern day maize begins at the dawn of human agriculture about 10,000 years ago. Ancient farmers in what is now Mexico took the first steps in domesticating maize when they simply chose which kernels, seeds to plant. These farmers noticed that not all plants were the same. Some plants may have grown larger than others, or maybe some kernels tasted better or were easier to grind. The farmers saved kernels from plants with desirable characteristics and planted them for the next season's harvest. This process is known as selective breeding or artificial selection. Maize cobs became larger over time, with more rows of kernels, eventually taking one of the form of modern maize. The identity of maize's wild ancestor remained a mystery for many decades, while other grains such as wheat and rice have obvious wild relatives. There is no wild plant that looks like maize, with soft, starchy kernels arranged along a cob. The abrupt appearance of mais in the archaeological record baffled scientists. Evolution was generally thought to occur gradually through minor changes. Why did mais appear so suddenly? So why did mais appear so suddenly? Was it a gift? Did Hawa give it to us? Was it something for us to have so we could start civilization? You ever wonder that? So, a lot of people want to, you know, judge, try to figure out these things, right? But a lot of times things are the way that they are because that's the way the Most High said that they're supposed to be. Period. So I'm gonna say this: if this stream y'all cuts off, right? Y'all get back to me, cause I ain't going nowhere. I got a presentation that y'all need to get. Shouts to Cody Mayo. Shouts to Drop Nation. So I'm gonna tell you, y'all make me strong, man. Y'all make me strong, man. You know what I mean? As I dodge hijacks, as I dodge buffoonery, just people in general. I'm not getting right. I'm just saying, it has nothing to do with the tie-in. I'm saying, I love you brothers because you brothers make me strong, man. So, Ahab, much Ahab to y'all, man. You hear me? So, I wanted to check and see if anybody was paying attention, because I'm a nobody with all you big dogs out here. You know what I mean? But this is what they saying about corn. We'll get back into that in a minute. Let me screen share something else. So we already know, thanks to the bro Cody Mayo, we already know the story, right? We already know what's going on with the mice, right? Let me screen share real quick. Let me screen share real quick. That brother definitely made me stronger. So you got the word that the Hittites got some captions of some mais. You got mais all over. Mais, 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 mais. So what they had, like, I thought they made it to like a little fun popsicle or something. But no, that's not the case, man. I'm just checking it out, man, seeing what's going on. So I see they be doing something with this mais, right? In Sumeria, right? So you got who's this? Tasio as Tashub, 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 the Hittite or early Gothic corn spirit from archaic Hittite rock culture at Iris and Terrace. Note, he is dressed as a Goth with snow boots and goat horns on his conical Trojan or Phrygian cap. Phrygian cap. I guess this is a Phrygian cap, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's a Phrygian cap. This looks like some kind of, his hat's made different. It doesn't have the point in it like the Pope and them. They wear the fish hat or whatever it is, man. He be into all kind of wildness, man. I just don't get it, man. Some of this, I don't know, man. As you can clearly see, this is, I don't know. I mean, he got a beard nappy. Is that a brother? Is this a brother? This is a brother. That's definitely a brother. And all them little teeny small curls in his head. I mean, in his beard. So yeah, these are he has plaits for his beard. You know, these definitely gangsters of some sort. These are like some gangsters too. Yeah, my son rock gangsters. Yeah, my nephew rock gangsters too. Yeah, I used to wear. My used to be long like this too, but yeah, I cut it. I had dreads and everything a couple years, but I'm letting my hair lock again though. As you can see, this is a nappy beard. Free Los. Free my nephew, man. Love you, Los. Free my nephew, man. Free my nephew, man. So yeah, what is this? Man, look at your legs, man. Big boy. They made sure they put the curve on his. They want you to know about them leg muscles. He said, "Boy, we gonna put the curve on this picture, so that's telling us something that something going on. Yo strong, brother strong. So who's that? Tazio. Yeah, it's a gothic corn spirit. Yeah. It's Hittite warrior. So I'm just belly flopping, man. You know, just belly flopping. Just trying to get some of this water. Belly flopping. Looking at pictures and getting my own perspectives and going on. Right? The Hittite king. So we know that the Hittites was heavy in this corn thing. Yeah. Woke. Okay. Hittite. It's definitely like a big. I mean, a brother. I mean, because white boys, they don't have their head not like this. He got a kufi on. Brother got a kufi on, yo. Got like a kufi. Man, as I get deep into this, man, so much, man. It doesn't stop. Every time I think I've figured out some stuff, boom, I get hit with something else. Age of Empires. Age of Empires. Age of Empires. I don't know too much about this. Like this Sumerian thing, I've been digging. I've been digging on these Sumerian situations. I've been digging on some the Sumerian thing. Something. So yeah, what is it? So let's mosey on down the road. Let's just get a feel of what's going on. Let's just get a feel of what's going on, man. That's like a kufi. You got a kufi with gangsters. they definitely braids. These are braids. That's braids. I used to wear my hand braids like this. I used to wear my hand braids like this. Yeah. But this is definitely like a kufi type, I think. And this is definitely a brother, man. It's definitely a brother, man. This ain't no Caucasoid gonna wear his hair like this. Ain't no Caucasoid gonna wear his hair. What is this? I don't even look at this kind of stuff. It's definitely goofy, but yeah, let's see what else is going on. Let's see what else is going on. Hittites. I'm trying to learn these Hittites. This Sumerian thing. This Sumerian thing is kind of a heavy thing. Let's see what's going on. I'm gonna say this, man. For me, right? I kind of didn't run me. I'm the type of person where I take scriptures and I really try to really have a full understanding. I really try to, have a full understanding of what's going on. One thing I have to realize is I can't choose to believe what I want to believe. Now, I do understand energy, frequency, and vibration. That's one thing I do understand. So instead of me being worried about what's in the Bible, I have to move off of my vibration. I have to move off of my energy. I have to move frequency. So, you can't be afraid of these things when you got faith, in the Most High, and you doing what you're supposed to be doing. Things like that aren't supposed to worry you. So I have to check myself sometimes, right? Sometimes I gotta check myself and understand that if I have this faith, for Hawa to say the way I say I do, then I wouldn't be worried about those type of things. So I've been trying to kind of stay away from the whole Sumerian thing and Nebuchadnezzar and these guys, right? Because it was a situation. It was a situation, man. It was a situation, man. You know, so I started finding out some other things, and I found out that there's a tie-in with Sumerian culture and the corn. So then I started thinking. I said, well, we know this corn situation come from us, right? These Hebrews, right? Understand this, right? So then I start thinking, I start clicking, my brain start clicking, and I say, well, if the Hebrews was involved with this corn situation, right? I say, well, how old is corn actually? How old is corn actually? So come to find out, corn been around for a long time, man. I seen 8,000 years. I seen 10,000 years. But you know, Anatoly Fomenko let us know that we got to watch these dates anyway. That the dates are low. We know that these dates aren't as old as as perceived as being taught to us. We know this, right? So I started digging, man, on agriculture in Sumeria, right? So it says, what is Sumerian agriculture, right? So I started digging. It says, what is Sumerian agriculture, right? And it says, what crops did ancient Mesopotamians grow? How did ancient Sumerians farm? Did the Mesopotamians grow corn? Oh, did they grow corn? Did they grow corn? Let me go down this list. So it says, what kind of food did Mesopotamians eat? Which is the oldest civilization? It says, what is the seven gods? The seven. Who is the god of Babylon? Is Marduk an evil god? What gods did Babylon worship? What religion was practiced in Babylon? What religion was practiced in Babylon? What religion was practiced in Babylon? Man, I'm going to tell you what I think. Ain't no religion. It's the most high over everything. What is the oldest religion? What does Babylon, does Babylon still exist? Why was God angry with Babylon? Oh, so Wa was mad. I guess that's the same. Dodge the hijack. We don't deal with no dogs. I don't deal with no dogs. So, why did the Wa punish Babylon? Was there a Nebuchadnezzar? One. Was Nebuchadnezzar a Chaldean? Who did Nebuchadnezzar throw in the fire? Who ate grass for 7 years in the Bible? Who ate grass for 7 years? Like I said, man, energy, frequency, and vibration, man. I'm gonna tell you, as far as I'm concerned in my life, man, I think I done been through so much. think I done been through so much that I don't think nothing could drive me over the edge to want to eat grass. Now, if you're starving, you'll be surprised what you might eat. So, as long as your energy is right, as long as your frequency is right and your vibration is right, you will be right. Overstand that. Overstand. So let's dig on some of these topics. I want to know some things. What is Sumerian culture? I'll get into that later. But it says, what else did Underworld? Okay. Alright. Okay, let's talk about this one. So it says, did Mesopotamians grow corn? Around 8,000, dodge the hijack, people began to slowly discover that planting a seed would make a new plant grow. The beginning of farming, for example, cornstarch was domesticated in Mexico around 7,000 BC. You know, we dodge these hijacks with the bees and the seeds and the, right? Farmers in Mesopotamia grew barley, wheat, lentils, chickpeas, onions, garlic, dates, and lettuce. I love all of them, especially lentils, man. Lentils, man. Real good, right? So you know what? Let's dig on this for just for the information, man. You know, we're learning, man. We're growing. You hear me? We're working out these 10 Commandments, and things don't always have to be, you know, to that degree. You know, just being a barbarian. You know, it don't have to be to that point. So let's read it. Say, what is Sumerian agriculture? It says agricultural Sumerians began agriculture around 17,000 years ago. So around about the time the Ma'is. So let me find out. The Most High gave this Ma'is to the Sumerians so they could create civilization. But you know, everybody always screw up. Everybody always do something stupid, man. You know, I'm not gonna say something stupid. I'm not gonna say that because some things are misinterpreted. You know, some things can be misinterpreted. It might not be that the individual is purposely being mischief and not listening to what the Most High tells us, what Hawa, the instructions that Hawa gives us. You know, it's not that we're not listening. Sometimes, because of the pain and things that we do in life, it'll make you hesitant. You can't always just jump just because somebody says jump. You gotta analyze it first and look at it because it just might be Satan that's telling you to jump. We understand. I'm quite sure that most of us, tell us to do something, man, we're gonna be on top of it, man, like flies on shit, man. But at the end of the day, when you have so much deception and so much, you know, satanic crap going on, you know, you don't know who or what. Who somebody might be throwing a curve, somebody might be throwing you a knuckleball, Somebody might be throwing you a change up. You got to be ready for that curve when it comes. You got to be ready for that change up, because when you hitting the ball and the change up, you swing differently. Your power behind the swing might be aimed in a different direction. So these things you got to know. But you know, people, we always assume that we know something. We always think that we know something. Whole time you don't know nothing. You think you know, you don't know. Sometimes people slow walk things, man, because of the wisdom that you gain from merely just living a life, man. So, next. Well, let's see, we got this one already. What crops did ancient Mesopotamians grow? Mesopotamian crops, the main types of grain that were used for agriculture were barley, wheat, millet, and emmer. Rye and oats were not yet known for agriculture use. Babylonian Assyrian land. Barley was the main for human use. Barley was the main grain for human use. Idiots, man. Idiots, man. So those hijacking these pictures, man. Fair use, man. Fair use, fair use, fair use. I don't want none of this stuff up here, man. Fair use, man. This made me want to pass this. Too much of this hijack shit, man. And look at this nut. Look at Joe. Look at Joe. Huh? Yo, how do you be a medal Olympic gold winner? And this is what you look like at 70. Boy. Fair use, man. Fair use. Fair use. And your caboose. And his caboose. Terrible, man. Terrible. All right, we read this already. So we got it that corn been around as long as Mesopotamians have been recorded to, because you know they got records of this stuff, man. They got records of this stuff. They got records. They got tablets. They got archaeological sites. They got, so you know what's funny. You know, we only want to accept the things that we want to accept that are written in these books that we study. So you know. So it says, which is the oldest civilization? What is the seven gods? What is the seven gods? So the seven gods are beliefs. The faith holds that there is one God who has seven faces as aspects. The Father, the Mother, the Maiden, the Crown, the Warrior, the Smith, and the Ranger. Who is Hawa in Babylon? So it says, this is what they say. Is it substantial? That's what I'm digging on right now to figure it out. So it says, is Marduk an evil god? The literary composition, which consists of 4 tablets of 120 lines each, begin with a 40-line Hymric praise of Marduk, in which his dual nature is described in complex poetic words. Marduk is powerful before good and evil, just as he can help humanity, he can also destroy people. What gods did Babylon? Man. So I gotta see if this stuff correlates. I'm not sure yet. I'm belly flopping. So this is kind of a fishing video, right? This is not like where I'm teaching. This is elementary teaching, because I'm not correlating. I'm just going over some stuff just to, so people can, sit back and put their feet up sometime. I watch a lot of videos, so it's time for me to start, trying to put out. But I still got some things I'm working on. I'm trying to get good, like a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all really, nice at it. Get me another computer, see what happens. Stay humble, stay focused, stay strong. Most High got me regardless. So, because I don't put no power before my power. I don't do that. And I understand I understand. So, what gods did Babylon worship? Babylonian gods, Marduk. Marduk was the primary god of the Babylonians and had Babylon as his main city. Nergal, god of the underworld. Nergal was an evil god who brought war and famine on the people. Tiamat, goddess of the sea. Tiamat is drawn as a huge dragon. Shamash, the Babylonian version of Utu. The Babylonian version of Utu. The religion was practiced in Babylon. Babylon religion is religious practice of the Babylonian. Babylonian mythology was greatly influenced by their Sumerian counterparts and was written on clay tablets inscribed with the cuneiform script derived from Sumerian cuneiform. The myths were usually either written in Sumerian or Akkadian. What is the oldest religion? The word Hindu is an exonym. I'll look that up myself. Exonym. And while Hinduism has been called the oldest religion in the world, many practitioners refer to their religion as Sanatana Dharma, Sanskrit. Okay. Does Babylon still exist? While Babylon itself is mainly a ruin, that's another thing that made me look into it. Because, I thought Babylon was kind of like, I didn't know, like, I thought it was a myth, because a lot of people that I was around tried to stay away from it. Like, they tried to not talk about it. They tried to, Babylon was always like this bad thing, when all actuality, how can Babylon be bad when you got all of this, these high priests running around, and all these kings, and they doing it like, so I wouldn't. I don't worship other gods. I don't worship other gods. I worship the Most High God. Okay, so hopefully that was a little breakdown. So what is this? Where we at? So yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought I don't know, because nobody really talked about it, but I understand now. I understand why, and now I get what's going on. Now I get what's going on. So it says, does Babylon still exist? While Babylon itself is mainly in ruin, right? It's located just a few miles from the modern city of Hilla, or Al-Hilla, which has a population of about 500,000 people. Others think that the gardens never existed, as no archaeological evidence has been found, nor was it mentioned in contemporary Babylonian texts. It says, what? Others think the gardens never existed. I thought they had ruins of this place. I mean, they had ruins, but the garden. Oh, okay. I think the garden never existed. Well, how would the ruins be there, but the garden didn't exist? Hijack, man. Who knows, man? You gotta read this stuff with a dragonfly perspective, man. They be giving us a whole bunch of goofy stuff. So it says, why was Hawa angry with Babylon? According to Genesis, the Babylonians wanted to make a name for themselves by building a mighty city and a tower with its top in the heavens. Hawa disrupted the work by so confusing the language of the workers that they could no longer understand one another. That would be pretty smart. But I just think it's stupid because, I don't know, man. I'm such a humble guy, man. Like, I would just want to be. I'm one of them kind of guys, man, where I'm just thankful for the simple things, man. I'm thankful for the simple things, man. Simple. I don't gotta have all this flamboyant Gucci, Louis. I don't need none of that stuff, man. I'm warm and I'm clean. I got soap. You hear me? I could turn the air on in the summertime. You know what I mean? Just comfortable. Stomach full. It don't gotta be filet mignon every night. Every once in a while, I'm gonna want me some peanut butter Captain Crunch. Every once in a while, I'm gonna want me some peanut butter Captain Crunch. I don't know, man. What's important to me is to make sure that the land is right, man. To get all of this, the Most High don't sanction it, man. Stay away from it, dog. We know these commandments, man. We already know, man. Hosea 3, man. Do I gotta read it again? Right. Do right happens. You ain't gotta have all this, all that, all that. As long as you're comfortable, man, and your seeds are good, You know what I mean? Everybody, you ain't gotta have Louis Vuitton sunglasses on, Doug. So, yeah, man. So where was that? Why did God destroy? I think I read this up because it was the seat of false religion. The doctrines that are taught today, such as Trinity, immortal soul, hellfire, all originated in Babylon, right? Study ancient Aramaic, Old Testament, and New in English. But I read the reasoning behind that. It was a reason. I talk about that. Right? So it says, was there a Nebuchadnezzar one? Nebuchadnezzar one was the fourth king of the second dynasty. He was the fourth king of the second dynasty of Asin and fourth dynasty of Babylon. He ruled for 22 years according to the Babylonian king, blessed C, and was the most prominent monarch of this dynasty. So, I don't know, couldn't have been that bad, man. The Most High took care of him like that. You know, was Nebuchadnezzar a Chaldean? Nebuchadnezzar II is known as the greatest king of the Chaldean dynasty of Babylon. He conquered Syria and Palestine and made Babylon a splendid city. Who did Nebuchadnezzar throw in the fire? What? When the three Hebrew children, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown in the fiery furnace because of their faithfulness to. Hold I don't believe that. Because of their faithfulness, King Nebuchadnezzar came to witness their execution. But he was turned, he was stunned, I'm sorry, but he was stunned to see not three, but four men in the fire. And he recognized that the fourth man in the fire was none other than, who was the fourth man? I haven't read that yet. Who ate grass for 7 years? Supposed to be Nebuchadnezzar. Supposedly he went crazy or something. And supposedly he lost it. I don't understand because Nebuchadnezzar also believed in the Most High. He listened to the Most High. The Most High was the one that told him to do all of the stuff that he did. So I'm just saying, man. Like I read. I'm not very familiar with Nebuchadnezzar, but I do know that his name was mentioned over. I think I counted like 90 times. His name was mentioned in the Gospels. How can be so bad, supposedly, but have name over time? Jack, man, don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in their ancient love song. We got our own, man. We got our own, bro. We got our own. You know what I mean? And Katie, bro, I'm gonna always love you, bro. I don't care about none of that, man. You know what I mean? You frequency and vibration, bro. You hear me? I'm gonna always love you, short. You made me strong. You brought me. Yeah. KD con drop, man. So yeah, it is what it is, man. All right, man. Listen, energy, frequency, and vibration, bro, and Everybody already know what my vibe be like. I ain't into that. I ain't into trying to hurt my people, man. I ain't into that, man. So we know that. Let's read. Let's see what we find out. Let's read what we find. So it says the top 10 Sumerian gods and goddesses, right? Now I'm learning, right? I'm learning as we go. I'm learning, right? So it says these are supposed to be the 10, right? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I? Ah, let me change the screen. Let me change the screen. Hold up, y'all. Yeah, that's my little brother, Taj on the beat. Man, the official producer for AI. I'm sorry for IA for IA Music Group. He is the official productions manager. Right. So it says top 10 Sumerian gods and goddesses, right? The Sumerians lived in southern Babylonia from 4,000 to Mako. We did all this already. Shouts to the nation brothers, man. Come on, man. You know what I mean? You know. One thing about me, I don't care what people think, bro. I'm so my chakras are in line so well that that negative is off of me, bro. So man, that's all I gotta say, man. So it says, for dodge the hijack of these years. And like I said, if you just turn on, man, to this is not a schooling. I'm belly flopping because I'm doing some homework and I just want to see what I can run into. You know, you hear me? Shouts to the Drakes on the wall. You hear me? Shouts to the Drakes on the wall. You hear me? So yeah, I had strong spiritual beliefs. Their history is shrouded in mystery. Shrouded in mystery. Pantheistic. I'm gonna have to dig on pantheistic, right? And their gods and natural forces. The Sumerians believed that there was the the primal. Why do you spell it like that? Primeval sea. Okay, maybe it's primeval sea. Look into that. I don't know about this word. This shit. It don't look right. I'm thinking primordial, but he rise to a united heaven and earth. Between heaven and earth came the air, whose main characteristic was expansion. The air produced the moon, then the moon produced the sun. Once heaven and earth been separated, plants, animals, and humans, there were more than 3,000 Sumerian gods and goddesses. Sumerian religion were An, Anki, Enlil, and Inki. So supposedly, I'm reading. I'm not sure yet. I'm belly flopping. I'm belly flopping. You know, I'm belly flopping in real time. You know, I'm not correlating. I'm correlating a few things. Not really. I'm just tying some things, and they're not really correlating. Well, they are correlating somewhat. Yeah, it's not like an official correlation. It's like I'm just belly flop homework 101. So here's a list of 10 most important. So 10 was Namu, 9 was An, 8 was Ki, 7 was Gula, 6 is Eri, Kiaga, 5 is Utu, 4 is Nana, 3 Inki, 2 Enlil, 1 Inanna. It's a conclusion. So you see they put it in order, chronological order. So I guess in Inanna, Inanna is number one, I guess. So let's dig on who these. Listen, man. I only it's the most high over everything. Now, it's been a lot going on, man. We already know it's been a lot going on. So we're learning. We're learning. I'm learning. Shouts to Big Judah. We're learning. We don't know everything. And everything is not what it always is written. Everything that we think that we know, just because it's written a certain kind of way, don't mean that it's really what it is. When everything is based on energy, frequency, and vibration, man. At the end of the day, you keep yourself right, and you will be all right. Nobody lives forever. You keep these commandments. You don't put no power before your power, man. Wow. Shalaki. So 10, Namu, I guess. Namu was the one who gave the first deity and the god of heaven. And Ki, earth goddess, and to many more of the ancient gods. Namu, a personification of the primal sea as the beginning of the world and one of the mother goddesses. Her name is the same symbol, the one for fresh water. Angor, which came from underground and had religious fertilizing proprietaries. That's why I say we gotta need this information, dragonfly perspective, man. Just because he lived underground don't mean he was like a problem, because he was handling the fertilization. He was taking care of the soil to make sure that they ate. She was also believed to be the mother of Enki, the water god. The union of An and Ki produced Enlil, the air god. Went on to separate the heaven farther on from the earth. I don't know. Like I said, bro, I'm learning. I don't know if this, I have no idea if it's true. You know what I mean? I'm belly flopping and I'm learning. Like I said in the beginning, there's no way, there's no way you can say that you are Hebrew if you are scared of this stuff, man. You know, because when you got faith, then you already know the answer. Nah, move. But we can't like not learn. You gotta open these books up. You can't be scared. Cause I was scared. Honestly, I was scared. When I started digging on this topic, I was like, oh. Then I found out what was going on. Here we go. Somebody being made an example out of. Always. The Most High set them guidelines. He tells us what He wants us to do. And these nut asses, they want to do other stuff. Most High punishes you. You know? Now, Mu was also known as the Lady of the Mountains. In many poems, she is said to have created mankind, a clay figurine, which was then thought to be life. Son, but to assist Namu during the birth of mankind. According to Sumerian poetry, the goddess Ninha acted as a midwife. Now, I beg to differ. Man, you just gotta, I don't know, man. So much stuff has been finessed. The hijack ran through all of our paperwork, man. The hijack got our paperwork, ran through our paperwork, and then reproduced it all over again. So we don't know. I'm just saying. So this is where we try to put these things together. Because I know about red clay. You know, so that was Adam red clay. So it might be the same thing. You know, the figurine might have been a big figurines. Most figurines are kind of small, but to Hawa, a figurine that we don't know. We see. So on the Hawa of heaven on was believed to have been conceived by Sumerians as the supreme ruler of the pantheon, and is Sumerian word. His his wife is the earth goddess Ki. It is On who, in Sumerian tradition, took over heaven when it separated from earth, creating the universe as we know it. Although one of the most important defined, and he is represented in art with obscure and attributes, iconography and attributes. His symbol is a horned cat, but they're saying the Hawa of heaven, but he had a horned cap. Oh man, what are they doing to us, man? Heaven consisted of the sky and the space above the sky, which is called the great above. Hmm. Okay. Sounds more like beyond the poles. Hmm. Yet, where the sky gods lived together with An, there was Nana, the moon god, Enlil, the air god, and his wife Ninlil, the air goddess. There is also reason to believe that Enlil took the place of, according to sources, from around 2500 hijack. Hijack. So Ki is the Sumerian word for earth, and she was personified as the goddess and female counterpart to On. Heavy. So I'm going to read this stuff kind of slow so I can, you know what I mean? We can figure this out. These keys and we's, and I'm trying this kind of new stuff. This new stuff is new to me. So in Sumerian myth, On and Ki produced a variety of plants on the earth. They were thought to be the offspring of the goddess and were originally united as one. Later, they were separated by their son Enlil and moved away from each other, from each other, and became the ruler of heaven. And Ki became the ruler of earth. Ki is also identified with the goddess Ninma, the great queen, Nin Ninhoraj, no, Rasaj, Ninhorasaj, the queen of the cosmic mountain, Nintu, the queen who gives birth, and many more. She set the stage for the organization of the universe, the creation of man, and the establishment of he's happy. You know, and a wild part about this whole thing is they got writings. This stuff is supposed to be legit. They got tablets. They got sites. They got information. This ain't like, you know, one of them situations where they really don't have no information. It's just, you know, some things are just like just written. Some things have has a verbal history, a verbal orientation, right? With people amongst themselves. But this situation, the Sumer work behind it. So I'm saying, so the goddess Gula, I read this already, whose name means great, was a healing goddess who understood disease and became the pantheons of doctors. She was worshipped in different areas under different names such as Nin Tunuga, Nin Karaka, Memi, and the best known of all, Nin Nishia, or the Lady of Isin. These were all originally the names of other goddesses. She had many temples, with the biggest one at Newport. She was either the war or Abu, the god of plants. Hey man, we belly flopping, man. We belly flopping, man. We belly flopping. So we belly flopping. You know, it's not really just saying what's out there. You know, because you gotta be like me for. But I feed people with less waters before I dive in them. And some people feel like I'm being uh, I'm causing a problem. It's not that I'm causing a problem. It's that I'm concerned about me and mine first. Sometimes I have to analyze things. Might but wisdom, man, wisdom is so important. You don't care what people think. It don't worry me about what somebody think, because you know, unfortunately, us as humans, you know, we always quick to have, you know, to throw dirt on somebody that you know you might think is tied to shaitan, but humans, within them, in their own natural psyche of thinking, we all begin to play the next man, to take man off of his pivot. We get jealous when we see a man shining. We get jealous when we see a man on a pivot. I don't, you know what I mean? Maybe maybe because I'm different. Who knows? Maybe that's why the Most High made me the way He made me. But hey, I ain't never been that guy to get mad at a dude because he got a nicer looking hat than me, or I don't like him because his girlfriend got a nice car and we don't have no car. I mean, stupid people are always going to hate the shining ones, the people that's on that cosmic radiation, that's on that shine, that glow, that copper, you know, that melanin, that pineal gland. When you on that, people gonna always have something greasy to say about you, man. Always. Right. And Porta Vita, you hear me? Because that's all I'm dealing with is pure life. So Gula gave birth to a healing god Damu, and to the god Ninnazu, all healing. See, man, that's why I understand, man. Why do these Sumerian gods, everybody agrees to say about them, but man, these people was making moves. The healing god, the great god of doctors, the great god of doctors, the god of war. How can you say something greasy, man? How could you say something greasy? The god of plants? How you got something greasy to say? Oh yeah, we know because of the situation. We know this because of the situation. But it was the ones that probably wasn't right. It wasn't for everybody, bro. It wasn't for everybody. The ones that's in cold was fine. Hula gave birth to the healing god. Did I read this already? Damu. I ain't finished yet. And the god Ninazul, also associated with healing. Her sacred animal was the dog. And small model dogs were dedicated to her by her followers. Her son Damu was known for driving away demons and was especially honored at Asin, Lasar, and Or. Was especially honored at Asin, Lasar, and Or. The Sumerian poetry, Damu, is sometimes described as daughter of Ninasina, Damu. Bloods, bloods say Damu. So let me find out this where they get it from. Damus. Come on, man. Come on, man. So who's this? Who's this? Gullah. This is Gullah. Gullah gave birth to the healing god Damu, also associated with healing. Her sacred animal was a dove. Man. Gullah Geechee. So Gullah was heavy too, healing, driving away demons. Yeah, man. I mean, they wasn't on no goofiness. And as long as they understood the Most High, then it is what it is. We needed them. We needed them to get rid of demons and yeah. So who's this? Ereshkigal, the Sumerian expression for universe, Ki, literally heaven, earth. Man, heaven, earth. The sky gods lived in heaven, while the earth, consisting of surface of the earth and space below, which was called the Great Blue, was where the underworld or Genetic deities lived. I don't think this is a word. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna look into this. Ereshkigal, goddess of death and gloom, inhabited this world and was the older sister and bitter enemy of Inannu. It's always some arch rival. It's always somebody creating a situation, supposedly. When at the end of the day, it is what it is. The goddess of love and war, Ereshkigal, ruled the land of no return, which was known by the names of Kigal and Arikala. There was an unbroken rule that no one who entered the underworld could return without producing a. If you're going to leave, you got to take somebody with you. All right. So here's Inanna visited the underworld and told her vizier or advisor that if she did not return after 3 days, he was to alert the, the gods. Enuna descended her to the nether world and approached Erikigil's temple of Lapis Lazuli. His temple was made out of Lapis Lazuli. Man, you know what Lapis Lazuli is? Let's dig on that real quick. Show y'all what Lapis Lazuli is. I'm gonna show y'all what Lapis. Let's see what Lapis Lazuli is. Lapis Lazuli. I know what it is, but I want y'all to see what it is, man. It's heavy. It's a gem. It's a stone. Right? Hold up. I got a Lapis Lazuli. Screen share, y'all. Give me a second. Yeah, Lapis Lazuli, man. Come on, man. It's beautiful, man. My eyes watery, yo. You hear me? Lazuli, man. Man. Lapis Lazuli makes my eye. I look at it, make my eyes watery, man. It's so beautiful, man. Lapis Lazuli. Don't you fool me. I'm gonna get on my spittings. I'm bring it back on my rap game too, y'all. So I've been writing some stuff. Y'all stand by. Man, we got a lot going on, but look at this Lapis, man. Look at this Lapis, man. Lapis Lazuli, man. Look at this. Look at this Lapis Lazuli, man. Beautiful, man. Lapis Lazuli, man. Look. So yeah, Lapis Lazuli, or Lapis for short, is a deep blue metamorphic rock used as a semi-precious stone that has been prized since antiquity for its intense color. As early as the 7th millennium, as early as the 7th millennium, Lapis Lazuli was mined in the Sari Sangha mines in Short Tugai. Is Short Tugai real? Is Short Tugai real? I don't know, it sounds too much like Kara Katai. And then other mines in the, I'm gonna dig on it. It's just I don't like the screen share, so I'm gonna dig on it later on. Province in northeast Afghanistan, Lapis Lazuli artifacts dated to 7570. All praise Allah, man. All praise Allah, man. All praise Allah, man. All praise Allah, man. Have been found by Okay, that's enough. But this lapis lazuli, man, look at this lapis, man. You know, lapis got some other it got some other features to it too, man. This lapis lazuli, man. So so check this out. Lapis lazuli is a valuable talisman for gaining respect, keeping negative energy away, and for helping us to remember to be humble in our dealings with others, man. Lapis lazuli is an enhancer filter crystal. Enhancers have internal crystal lattices of perfect cubic symmetry and eternal harmony as a building block talismans. Their internal structure helps focus our efforts to build on our successes and enhance our lives. They concentrate our energy on the improvements we desire and thought patterns that will, man, I gotta read Lapis Lazuli again, as a matter of fact. We gonna dig on Lapis Lazuli for a minute. Oh man, that's heavy. Lapis Lazuli, man. I want to get some of this lapis, man. I want some of this lapis. Look at this lapis, man. Look at this lapis, man. So it says your online guide to the healing energies, metaphysical properties, legendary uses, and meaning of lapis lazuli. So check it out. I wish I could show the picture too, so man. Look at that. Lapis lazuli. I just like the way it sounds. It says, Introduction to the meaning of the uses of lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is one of the most sought after stones in use since man's history began. Its deep celestial blue remains the symbol of royalty and honor, God's and power, spirit, and vision. It is a universal symbol of wisdom and truth. In ancient times, lapis lazuli was most highly regarded because of its beautiful color and the valuable ultramarine dye derived from it. Its name comes from the Latin lapis stone and the Persian lazuli blue. It is rock formed by multiple minerals, mostly lazurite, sodarite, calcite, and pyrite, and is a rich medium to royal blue with gold flecks. Pyrites, no parasites, pyrites. Lower grade lapis is lighter blue with more white than gold flecks and is sometimes called denim lapis. Lapis lazuli, among the most highly prized tribute paid to Egypt, obtained from the oldest mines in the world. Okay, so we know. Okay, so we know where Egypt is, right? So that makes sense, right? Right. 10-4. Worked from around 4,000 BC, dodged the hijack, and still in use today. Referred in the Old Testament as sapphire, unknown to the part of the ancient world. Unknown in the part of the ancient world. What? How was it unknown? Referred to the Old Testament as sapphire, unknown in the part of the ancient world. How is it saying that when it's saying that it's been here since mankind? Unknown to the ancient. Oh, they didn't know. The ancients didn't know about. Oh, I don't know. Maybe they dug it up after ancient civilization, I guess. Lapis Lazuli is most likely the fifth stone in the original breastplate of the high priest. So this is one of the stones that the high priest wears in his breastplate. He wears lapis lazuli because I think it's 12. It is. I don't think it's 12 stones. Each stone for every one of Jacob's families, children, Jacob's children, all 12. There's 12 stones. So one of them is lapis lazuli, as well as those of later times. Man, it's all happening. The golden sarcophagus of King Tutankhamun was richly inlaid with lapis, as were other burial ornaments of Egyptian kings and queens. It was used extensively in scarabs, pendants, and other jewelry, and ground into powder for dyes, eyeshadow, and medicinal elixirs. Hmm. Hmm. And I'm just thinking, man. Like I didn't know this. I'm reading this. And the dry, barren land of the Egyptians, which is America, this deep cobalt blue color was a spiritual contrast to their arid desert hues. The gold flecks were like stars in their nighttime sky, and by meditating on these colors, they felt supernatural forces would transform their lives. What? The garments of priests and royalty were dyed with lapis to indicate their status as gods themselves. In the ancient Persia and pre-Columbian America, lapis lazuli was a symbol of the starry night and a favorite stone of the Islamic Orient for protection from the evil eye. Man. Lapis was much used in Greek and Roman times as an ornamental stone, and in medieval Europe, lapis lazuli, resembling resembling the blue of the heavens, was believed to counteract the wiles of the spirits of darkness and procure the aid and favor of the spirits of light and wisdom. Ground and processed into powder, it produced the intense but expensive ultramarine colored favored by the painter Michelangelo. Buddhists recommended lapis as a stone to bring inner peace and freedom from negative thought. And during the Renaissance, Catherine the Great adorned an entire room in her palace with lapis lazuli walls, fireplaces, doors, and mirror frames. Man, lapis lazuli. I'm about to get on that lapis lazuli for that chakra. Look, I didn't even know this was here. Lapis lazuli, chakra healing and balancing energy. Let's go. Tired of fighting, man. Tired of fighting, man. Tired of fighting, y'all, man. It's time to enjoy some of this. It's time to enjoy some water, some mem sauce. Don't put no power before your power. Work out them commandments. Hosea 3. Come on, man. Let's get it right. The lapis lazuli activates the psychic center of the third eye and balances the energies of the throat chakra. The brow chakra, also called the third eye, is the center of our perception and command. It directs our sight and everyday awareness of the world. Our consciousness is located here, and we relate to ourselves through this chakra. It balances the important and the unimportant, sorting meanings from data and impressions. It commands the energy flow within the body. When the brow chakra, the what? The third eye, which is the pineal chakra, is balanced, we see clearly and understand what we see. We can interpret visual cues, and our perception is high. Our thoughts and our internal communications within ourselves are healthy and vibrant. We are open to new ideas, dreams, and visions. We can quietly observant and reflective. We can control the flow of energy within all the chakras. Lapis lazuli. The throat chakra is the voice of the body, a pressure valve that allows the energy from the other chakras to be expressed. If it is blocked or out of balance, it can affect the health of other chakras. In balance, it allows the expression of what we think and what we feel. We can communicate with our ideas, beliefs, and emotions. Man, we do that now. Because I know me and my cousins, we in line. I feel what these brothers feel all the time. And they know who they are. I don't even got to say their name. We know. When the throat chakra is in balance and open, we can bring our personal truth out into the world. We have an easy flow of energy within the body and spirit. The energy that springs upward from the lower chakras can continue its path, enabling free expression and natural release. Blue crystal energy will unblock and balance the throat chakra. The darker shades of blue carry the power of truth. Lapis Lazuli. Man, I love this. My little brother sitting over here laughing at me. This Lapis Lazuli, though. This Lapis Lazuli, though. It's a Lapis Lazuli in the angelic realm. Man, let's read this. If your birthday falls in any of the following periods, a Lapis Lazuli can be valuable conduit to the guardian angel. The table also provides the name of Gabriel, angel, to those born in that time period. You know, Gabriel was the man. Guardian angel. I thought it said his name. No, it didn't. My bad. And guardian angel, we know Gabriel was the one that was sending word from the Most High to quote unquote prophets, or yeah, I guess I could use that terminology. But look at this, Lapis Lazuli, goddess crystals. Man, look, I'm gonna be reading all night. Yo, this Lapis Lazuli. Oh, let me read this. So it's Lapis Lazuli. Okay, Lapis Lazuli, Athena, the Greek goddess of war and wisdom. She is always depicted in armor and is known as a skilled fighter and strategist. And for her superb logic and intellect, Lapis Lazuli honors Hera, the Greek goddess of marriage and the queen of all gods and goddesses on Mount Olympus. She is a source of inspiration for the wives and lovers, and for standing up. Okay, that's okay. All right. Lapis Lazuli honors Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of the underworld. She journeys into the underworld, carrying her Lapis Lazuli rods and measuring time and the length of person's life. Lapis Lazuli honors knew it. Like everybody got it. Like all of the Egyptians used it, the Sumerians used it, the Greeks used it, the Romans used it. Absolutely was Dana, the Celtic river goddess. Dana. Oh, I didn't know that. The Celtic river goddess. Man. All right, let me get off the Lapis Lazuli, yo. I was on Lapis Lazuli hard, wasn't it, man? Lapis Lazuli. So let me go back to the 10 Sumerian kings list, man. Let me go back to that. Stop. Screen share. Let me ain't hiding, man. Let me see what's going on, man. Let's see what's going on, man. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on, man. So yeah, man, I'm in the cut. I'm in the classroom, man. Working, man. Working. Getting close. Closer and closer I get. Yeah. So I stopped with Lapis Lazuli. He passed 7 weeks. What's up with these sevens, man? What's up with these sevens, man? Let's talk about it, man. Led why, man? 7 gates into the world. And her jewels were removed piece by piece as she walked until she was brought turned into a corpse. And Leo and Nana both refused to help. Then Shober went to Enki, the god of wisdom, who came who came to Nana's rescue. Though Inanna was brought to life, she had to produce a substitute. Well, I read this already. So Utu, right? Utu, right? Utu was Sumerian sun god who presented the brilliant light of the sun, which returns every day to illuminate the lives of mankind, as well as providing the warmth to enable the plants to indeed. In Sumerian tradition, he was presented with a saw knife and fury rays. These are fury, or these are rays coming from him. So I'm saying, man, they got this, man. How come you don't hear nobody talking about it? We got these churches running around talking about a whole bunch of nothing they can't prove. Like we proving stuff. They got melanin. That's what this 432 is all about. You gotta have that melanin. So which returns every day to eliminate the lives of mankind, right? I read this already. I'm gonna read it again because I like how it sounds. To enable the plant to grow, the Sumerian tradition, he was represented with a sword and fury rays. Utu was the son of Nana, the moon god, and the twin brother of Inanna, the goddess of love and war. The principal temple of Utu, called E Bar Bar. E Bar Utu, or White House of Sipar. The cult of Utu had been traced back to very early times. He was described as bearded, and and it is thought he emerged from the doors of heaven at dawn, at daily. During his journey to the sky, everything, Utu was known as a god of truth and justice, as a protector of good and destroyer of evil, man. Also had a warrior aspect personality. Utu's main function was to supervise the moral order, since justice, truth, and righteousness were important to the Sumerians. Man, but they never. Why don't we talk about the Sumerians, man? How can a man's name in post 90 something times and we never mention him? How, man? How, man? How, man? Man, it's heavy. It's heavy, man. We're trying, we know why, man. Hijack don't want us knowing nothing, man. She's trying to keep us goofy, stupid, ride it out, man. Woke, 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 woke. Man, I'm gonna grab a bag, grab a mask, grab a pump, turn a nigga to a tree stump. I ain't even gonna, I'ma wait. Y'all remember that? Woke, woke. I'm here to crystallize, mesmerize. Man, look, let's give me two business partners is going down. As soon as my nephew come home, man, he go to court. He been down. He been down going on 3 years court yet. He ain't even been to court yet. He with the feds. He ain't even been to court yet. To get my nephew the hell out of there. He coming home, man. So I want to read this again, man. So it says, during his journey across the skies, he's saying Utu was known as the god of true justice, man. As a protector of good and the destroyer of evil. He also had a warrior aspect to his personality. Utu's main function was to serve more order, since justice, truth, and righteousness were important to the Sumerians. His daughter was Mamu, associated with dreams. Mamu being her dream. Woke. Nah. The moon god was the major astral deity of the Sumerians, born of Enlil, the air god, and the wife of Ninlil, the air goddess. Ninlil followed her mother's instructions, and as a consequence was impregnated by the water, of Enlil, and this god Nana. Nana brought the light to the dark. Nana brought the light to the dark Lapis Lazuli sky. The little ones, the stars, were scattered around like grain, while the big ones, the planets, walked around the moon. Nana and his wife Ningal were the parents of Utu, the sun, who was said to rise in the mountains of the east and set in the mountains of the west. Nana, the deities of Earth, the god Nusku, a god associated with fire and light, was regarded to his son. He was minister of Enlil in magical incantations. Was one of the gods called upon to assist in the burning of the sorcerers and witches. Ooh, yeah, they called this brother when it was time to burn. Yeah. Okay, they called him when it was time to burn sorceries and witches. He was also a during the night when he watched over those who were asleep, bringing them good dreams and preventing nightmares. Man, man. But they don't want to talk about these Sumerian gods. From what I hear, these brothers were serious, and they said it was serious. Man, what? I'm just saying. In Western ancient and unpredictable water resources, Enki, the Sumerian water god, was one of the four creation deities of Sumer, male fertility and knowledge. He was represented with flowing streams of water and swimming fishes. According to legend, he filled the Tigris. He filled the Tigris and the Euphrates River with sparkling water and fish. Heavy stuff, man. Enki was also associated with wisdom, magic, incantations, and arts and crafts. His most important role, however, was to offer the king understanding and the heaven god. He was the pantheon deity of Endu and his most important cult center of the E Abzu or Abzu House of Iridu. He was also seen favoring mankind. In Sumerian poetry, he was concerned with every aspect of human life and organized every feature of the civilized world in great detail. Man, in art, Enki was represented as a seated god with a long beard surrounded by channels of water. Through legends, it is clear who was more important, Enki or Enlil. Enki, the god of wisdom, organized the earth according to the decisions of Enlil. He made the general plans. Execution of these plans was left to Enki, who was wise, skillful, handy, resourceful. I hope these brothers ain't start beefing, man. Enki and Enlil start beefing. We'll see. Enlil was one of the most important gods of the pantheon. His wife was a goddess Ninlil, and among the children of Enlil was the goddess Inanna, and the gods Nana, Ninurtu, Utu, and many more. The legend is that Enlil found himself living in utter darkness in the sky. He therefore had the moon god Nana brighten the darkness of his house with the Lapis Lazuli, right? Well, followed so much, followed by the sun god Utu, who became even greater than his father, the temple mountain house at Nippur, and Enlil was often called the Great Mountain and King of the foreign lands. Hmm. Hmm. He has been described as a supreme Lord, Father, Creator, and a ringing storm. Enlil had the important task of allocating land and kingship to the kings and was a most beneficial god, responsible for planning and creating most of the features in the cosmos. In many books, he is described as an indestructible god, but it is clear that the myths friendly, fatherly god who ensured the safety and well-being of all humans, particularly the inhabitants of Sumer. Exactly, man. You know what I mean? You gotta have that 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 God that know how to put his foot down and not let people walk all over top of him. But for the most part, the tablet of destines was one of the objects which gave Enlil the power to determine the destinies of the world. According to legend, it was both Enlil and Enki who set Labar, the cattle god, and Ashnab, the grain god, mankind, cattle, and grain. Oh man, but I knew the most. So Inanna. You gotta be a sister, boy. You heard me. Number one. Number one, yo. It sounds about right, man. People try to downplay the sisters, man, when they really be the ones. Never underestimate the sisters, man. You know what I mean? Without mama, it wouldn't be none of us. Man, understand. So yeah, let's get this. The goddess Inanna was the most important female deity of the ancient period. She was goddess of love, war, and female fertility throughout Sumerian history as a ruler of the erect city-state. She was primarily responsible for pure love and procreation as the life-giving goddess of love, ensuring the prosperity of land and its people. Inanna was the daughter of Enlil, twin sister of the sun god Utu. She also had a sister, Ereskel, who was queen of the underworld. Various Sumerian poems are about Inanna and her love for Du, and was ultimately responsible for his death. She was patron of Uruk, 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 Uruk. Sounds about right. Where her principal shrine, E, or House of Heaven. The personality of Inanna can be divided into three quite separate parts: goddess of love and sexual, especially connected with excuse me, marital sex and lust. A warlike goddess found in battle, violence, and power, standing next to her favorite kings as they fight. And Inanna as the planet Venus, the morning and evening star. She was also famous for taking governing all cultural and political achievements leading up the Sumerian civilization in Enki. Among these decrees were those lordship, wisdom, understanding, victory, judgment, and decisions. So yeah, let's read the conclusion. read the conclusion. Conclusion. In many of the most important Sumerian cities, there was a close relationship between religion and government. Hundred to the 1800s, when they lost civilization, was discovered. Oh, okay. I was like, he wasn't around in the 1800s. Oh, all right, okay. No one knew of the existence of the land called Sumer. I don't know. Their gods, well, uh, their gods, and Enlil, Enki, Nin, Nin Horasag, Nana, Utu, and Inanna were the seven gods who decreed the fates to get more unique to Sumerian religion of men to gods, and the comfort of life after death. Here, it is important for men to achieve any sort of paradise. Mortal gods, mortal men. Mm, 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 mm. Woke, woke. So we got a little on. I mean, not really cat, but we got some information. Cat means something. So I don't want nobody to think I'm just up here playing. Now, this is a serious situation. Top 10 Sumerian gods and goddesses. So you know, if you know, I'm going to something. It might upset some people, but we already know, man, about our energy, our frequency, and our vibration. Certain things we just understand, man. So, you know, some things we just understand, man. We can't pick and choose what we want to respect in the Bible. We have to respect not everything, but at least these situations. And, yes, we gotta own up to what they are. Yes, we follow the gospel. We understand these things is being told to us in the gospel. And, we can't just listen to some of the things. We gotta follow through with most of the things with a dragonfly perspective. So I was reading this article today, man. It blew my mind. I was just, surfing the wave, and I ran into this. Cause I was like, man, is this stuff really true? So I run into this. It says Jerusalem has fallen, despair, and hope. No matter what, God's purposes will be fulfilled. So it's one thing we know. For the followers of Jesus, the story of his life, death, and resurrection is the absolute center of our practice, belief, and worldview. It's the central event. We know what this really means. So we're not even gonna go into that, right? It's the central. Let me get off this. It's the central event which generated the entire Christian story in the New Testament. But these events didn't occur in a vacuum. Jesus saw himself fulfilling a large storyline that was told in his Bible, the Hebrew Bible, or as most Christians refer to it, the Old Testament. So he made sure it was specific, the Old Testament. One of the most important events is Jesus' Bible, which also changed Jewish history forever, is the Babylonian Exile. This event left its mark on Israelite history in an unparalleled manner and played a key role in the formation of the Bible itself. For Israelites, the exile was the watershed moment of their history through which the entire Bible gains its significance. Everything else orbits around the gravity of this faith-shaking moment. The entire national structure of the kingdom, which was thought to be ordained by Hawa himself, came crashing down. This event fulfilled centuries of prophetic warnings, as hundreds of years of tradition, culture, and history was destroyed in just 1 year. This was their day of the Lord, and it left them absolutely devastated. Read the Book of Lamentations if you want some sober reflection on what it felt like to live through the tragedy of Jerusalem's destruction and the people's enslavement under the Babylonian rule. You can understand how it may be hard to find hope in such a situation. That is why the book of Isaiah plays such a key role in the Old Testament, especially given in its placements in the order of the Hebrew Bible. It's situated after 1 and 2 Kings instead of after Songs. Isaiah entire focus is hope on the other side of the exile. From the very first chapter of the book, this hope shines bright, and it comes right on the heels of the most devastating moment in Israelite history. Let's first explore the exile and then the hope we find in Isaiah. Despair. Yahweh, Yahweh, Ha, was eternally committed to his promise to Abraham, Israel, and David, which means he was committed to dismantle Israel's kingdom if they were unfaithful to their covenant obligations. Hawa would allow Israel's national structures to be wiped out so he could create a remnant who would return to be faithful. A remnant will return, the remnant of Jacob, to the Almighty God. God is faithful to his promises, those that come in the form of blessings, but also those that come in the form of punishment and exile. The Israelites made a promise long ago in Moses' day. If they were loyal to their Hawa and each other, he would bless them and make them his treasured possession. However, if they rebelled and did not keep his covenant, he would turn his back on them, at least temporarily. Exactly. Because still, you know, you know, the Lord will exile you and your king to a nation unknown to you and your ancestors. The Hawa will exile you and your king to a nation unknown to you and your ancestors. they're in exile. You will worship gods of wood and stone. You will become an object of horror, ridicule, and mockery among all nations to which the Lord sends you. Deuteronomy 28:36 and 37. So it says Deuteronomy 28:36-37. The Lord will bring you and your king, whom you set over you, to a nation which never you nor your fathers have known. And there you shall serve other gods, wood and stone. You shall become a whore, a proverb, and a taunt among all people, where the Lord drives you. So it says, ouch, hindsight being what it is. One could say Hawa was faithful to that promise, even in this correction and punishment. But that was a long time ago, right? You could have expected the Israelites to forget such a promise warning. But they didn't just have ancient scrolls to remember. They had the living, breathing prophets getting in their face on a regular basis. For centuries, the prophets had been warning Israel and their kings. If you read through the rest of the books and prophets, you will discover just how widespread Israel's corruption and covenant failure had become. Man, before the end, kings like Hezekiah and Joshua, is that Hosea? Yeah, that's Hosea. All right, that's Hosea. Kings like Hezekiah and Hosea tried their hands at reform and even took a few steps forward, but it was too little, too late. The king who came in between these two monarchs took Israel's apostasy to a new level, unparalleled in the family of David. To a new level. Man, unparalleled to the family of David. The Lord spoke by his servants, the prophets, saying, because Manasseh, king of Judah, has done these abominations, because Manasseh, the king of Judah, has done these abominations, things more evil than all that the Amorites did, and has also caused Judah to sin with his idols. Therefore, thus says the Lord of War, Israel, I am bringing evil on Jerusalem and Judah, such evil that the ears of whoever hears about it will tingle. I will stretch over Jerusalem and measuring lines of Samaria and the level of the house of Ahab. And I will wipe out Jerusalem as one wipes out a bowl, wiping it and turning it upside down. I will disrespect the remnant of my inheritance. I will discard the remnant of my inheritance and give them into the hand of their enemies. They shall become plunder and spoil for all their enemies, because they have done evil in my sight and have provoked me to anger since the day their fathers came out of Egypt, even to this day. Man, oh man. 2 Kings 21, 10 through 15 says, a hard message. Let me see something. Alright, so this is 2 Kings 21, 10 through 15. Right? So it says, now the Lord spoke to the prophets, saying, because Manasseh, king of Judah, has done these abominations, having done wickedly more than all the Amorites did, who were and has made Judah sin with his idols. Therefore, thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I am bringing such calamity on Jerusalem and Judah, that however he is of it, both his ears will tingle. I will stretch over Jerusalem the line of Samaria, and I will wipe Jerusalem as one wipes a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. I will abandon the remnants of their inheritance and deliver them into the hand of their enemy, and they will become as plunder and spoil to all their enemies, because they have done evil in my sight and have been provoking me to anger since the day of their fathers came from Egypt, even to this day. And so, a hard message. Remember what happened to the northern kingdom in 722. Samaria, under the corrupt kings ruling in the spirit of Ahab's ways, was hauled off into exile by the Syrians. This is the same verdict and sentence rendering to Judah in a while. Yeah. Yo, when is they gonna get it, yo? They just got it. 5 short chapters later, Jerusalem falls, is systematically plundered and methodically enslaved. Every item they had amazed in their storehouses was removed. This was the Egyptian exile all over again. But they were not the ones collecting the books, right? And they were not being set free. Man. And they were not the ones that were set free. Now in the 9th year of his reign, on the 10th day of the 10th month, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came. He and all his army against Jerusalem, came against it and built a siege wall all around it. This was the Egyptian exile all over again. But they were not the ones collecting the books, and they were not being set free. Is this how it ends? The prophets before event were considered crazy, but now their words of warning were vindicated. That is why the writing of the prophets grew in importance after the exile. Nobody was listening before. Nobody was listening before the predictions came true. Surely Hawa was the people's side. Israel's kings were divinely appointed and mandated. They were untouchable. After the fall of Jerusalem, the tables were turned. The prophets were right. So what now? Ah, yo, man, oh man, boy, oh boy. It's just back and forth, 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 back and forth. Like the Most High, sets these laws, right? And then if you don't do them, you know, he sends these cleanup people to come through and clean up. Because at the same time, the Most High always sends them to clean up. It ain't Satan coming, it's the Most High sending word to go clean up. So, and then, it happens all over again. And then the victor of them, they start dragging their nuts, and here we go all over again. Thankfully, Hawa is faithful. If he was faithful to punish his people for disobedience, how much more faithful will he be to restore them and bring them blessings? We know that Allah will hold people accountable, but he's also slow to anger, abounding in covenants, faithfulness, and forgiving sin and rebellion. If we turn to the same speech given by Moses at the end of Deuteronomy that predicted the exile in the first place, we see hope. So we're gonna get the rest of this. I'm gonna go ahead and dismount. I still got some more stuff to show, man. I'm gonna get back to it though. But we know about all this. So we know Deuteronomy 30:23. Let's get this real quick because I'm kind of in a hurry. I gotta take care of some stuff. So Deuteronomy 32:3. And you return to Lord your Hawa and obey him with all your heart and soul according to all that I command you today, you and your sons. Then the Lord your Hawa will restore you from captivity and have compassion on you, and will gather you again from all the peoples where the Lord your Hawa has scattered you. Right, right. So let's read this too. Let's get this. Oh, let's get this one. Isaiah. So it says, "Come now and let us reason together," says the Lord. Though your sins are as scarlet, they will be as white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they will be like wool. If you consent and obey, you will eat the best of the land. Right, 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 right. So I will restore your judges as the first, and your counselors as at the beginning. Afterward, you shall be called the city of righteousness, a faithful town. Zion shall be redeemed with justice, and her covenants will with righteousness. But the destruction of the transgressors and sinners shall be together, and those who forsake the Lord shall be consumed. Isaiah 1:26-28. Wow, may mean business, but he has not forgotten about Israel. and he clearly still intends to make them a blessing to all the nations and fulfill his promise to Abraham. Exactly. Isaiah runs deep. There are many ways in which Isaiah points forward to the hope of Masonic king from the line of David. Wait a minute. There are many ways in which Isaiah points forward to the hope of the Messianic king from the line of David. But for the moment, let's remember that in the midst of all the doom and gloom, Isaiah kept the embers of the hope lit. God has not lost his love for his covenant people, and he has not abandoned them. This leads us back to particular concluding story of two kings. So 2 Kings says, now it came about the 37th year in the exile of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, in the 12th month, on the 27th day of the month, that evil Merodach, king of Babylon, in the year he became king, released Jehoiakim, king of Judah, from prison. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I read that already. All right. The captive king from the line of David, Jehoiakim, is released from the Babylon prison and exalted above all the other kings under Babylonian rule, invited to sit and dine with the king of Babylon. One might easily close the book perplexed. What exactly is going on here? Why am I being told this story? Think about the themes of the short episode. An imprisoned Israelite taken into slavery into the foreign land. He is then suddenly released from prison by the king and exalted high above the other rulers of the land. Sounds similar? Yeah. Sound like Joseph. Yeah. What do you say? I've heard this story before in the book of Genesis. The person that was Joseph, right? It's Joseph. You may also recall that he had to change his clothes before seeing the king in person. So also the short story about the Jehoiakim, he replays the Joseph story to the T. And so this final story, short story of 2 Kings, invites us to see similar divine purpose to work in the disaster of Jerusalem's destruction. Human evil will not have the day God's purpose will be fulfilled. Yeah, yeah, man. Already know. Oh, wow. Wow. So, yeah. Then my mind started clicking some more. Right? Click, 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 click. Mind started clicking, mind started clicking. So I'm like, what's the story on a Hebrew that might have Sumerian ties? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. So I tied into, let me see, who's this? So I tied into this. And I typed in Sumerian, Hebrew Sumerian script. Just no. Yeah, that's what I typed in. See, look, Hebrew Sumerian script. I typed it in. Just like, then come to find out that there is alphabets, paleo women. So it says The Sumerian script is used in Samaritans for religious rites, including the Sumerian Pentateuch, writings in Samaritan Hebrew, and for commentaries and translations in Samaritan, Aramaic, and occasionally Arabic. Sumerian is a dialect descent of the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet, which was a variety of the Phoenician alphabets. Paleo-Hebrew is an alphabet in which large parts of the Hebrew. All right, so the point I'm making is there is a Sumerian Hebrew manuscript. So then find out that there is a Hebrew and Sumerian alphabet. So here it is right here. The Hebrew Sumerian alphabet script. So you got Aleph, Bit, Gaman, Dalat, I, Ba, Zen, It, Tit, Yut, Kaf, Labat, Mem, Mem, Noon, and Mem is for the M. Mem, Noon, Sin, Got, In, Fi, Sadi, Kuf, Raz, San, Taj. So, tough. So, wait a minute. Let me see what I can find. So, look, it say Sumerian cuneiform, Hebrew name, Aleph. So, man, I'm about to start digging on these alphabets now. So then I ran into these. This is the hold up. Let me screen share. I screen share all over again. So I'm getting ready to dismount. It's been what 2.5 hours I've been rocking out. So yeah, but I want to show you guys this alphabet real quick. Then I'm gonna close out with decoding the corn. So look, Atlas of Endangered Alphabets. So this is a Sumerian Hebrew alphabet. Do you hear me? Let's look at these. A page from Leviticus in the Sumerian Bible. See? Then you have this ancient inscription in Sumerian Hebrew. Look at this. Didn't know that. Didn't know that the Sumerians and the Hebrews was partners some kind of way. I'm gonna find out though. So this is the detail of Naples Samaritan Pentateuch in Samaritan Hebrew. Look, man. Here it is again. Alright? Here it is again. Prima, figura, typographia. It is right here again. Alphabet again. So you start saying alphabet this. This look like the oh, man. I forgot the name of it. Samaritan Mezuzah. Look at this. So supposedly, here we go again. Samaritan script. Morse. Hebrew script. Hebrew Sumerian script, man. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. So, so that's what's going on, man. Let me get rid of this and let me share. Here we go, right here. So, decoding the mystery of the corn, Smithsonian scientists recreate Earth as it was 10,000 years ago. So we're decoding this stuff, man. Shouts out to everybody, man. Shouts out to everybody that work just trying to put this thing together, man. Love y'all, man. You know, Judah, I love you, man. Con Drop, I love you, man. Cody Mayo, I love you, man. You hear me? Natural by Law, I love you, man. Templar, I love you, man. I mean, whoever forget Copper Color Creation, Joy World, man, I love y'all, man. And when I can help, I will, trust me, I will. You know what I mean? Shabbat Shalom, man. So can it be genetically modified? Miss Amanda said, what was this video? Check it out. Let us see it.
10,000 years ago, there was no corn, just a grass called teosinte, specifically Zeamae species Parivaglumis. This grass looked little like modern corn. The plant is highly branched, the kernels are small, few in number, not few, and enclosed in a hard fruit case. But somehow, early farmers turned the grass into corn. So how did they do it? When early farmers grew their proto-corn, each year they selected what they considered the best individuals to take seeds from for the next season. With each generation, the plant was enriched for traits that made it more useful for humans. Over time, random genetic mutations that would improve the crop would occur, and these would be bred into corn by this process. And slowly, the plant became closer to the corn we know today. But that's not the whole story. Up to 12% of the genetic material in corn is derived from ZMA's species Mexicana. These genes are thought to have been introduced through intraggressive hybridization. By this process, genes are introduced into one closely related plant. It begins with the two lines being crossed, producing offspring, where one allele of each gene comes from each parent. Then, by repeatedly backcrossing with one of the parents, we can be left with only a few genes derived from the second parent, effectively introducing these genes into one plant from the other. How intentionally this was done by our ancient Mesoamerican farmers, we will likely never know, but we do know that the end result was a humble grass that became the power crop we know today. But how easy was it to change a wild grass into something similar to today's corn? Well, in the 1930s, crossed the wild grass with a domesticated corn, producing an F1 hybrid containing one copy of each gene from each parent, one from the wild grass, from model corn. He then crossed the F1 hybrid with itself, producing an F2 hybrid, and scored the phenotype of these plants. He was looking at grass and how many were somewhere in between. If you remember your high school biology and your Punnett squares, you'll know what to expect. For each gene, 1/4 of the plants would carry 2 copies of the allele from corn, and another quarter, 2 copies originally from the wild grass, with the other half of the plants retaining 1 copy from each. So if one gene was governing the entire phenotypic difference between modern corn and wild Theosynthi, we would find 1 in 4 plants that look corn. If 2 genes are required, only 1 in 16 plants will receive 2 copies of both genes from corn, and another 1 in 16 will receive 2 copies of both genes from the wild grass. We can generalize this to 1 in 4 to the power of n, where n is the number of genes involved in the phenotypic differences. Beadle scored about 50,000 F2 plants and found that 1 in 500 resembled corn, and another 1 in 500 resembled the wild grass, putting the number of genes dictating the phenotypic differences at just 4 or 5. Not too many for our ancient agriculturalists to breed in. Of course, many other genes have refined corn to be the crop it is today, but fundamentally, changing just a few genes can turn practically inedible grass into a useful crop. How could so few genes have such a large effect? Well, the genes involved are regulatory. These few genes control the phenotypic changes.
Hey, soliloquy. That answers the question of how they changed the plant, but leave a question of why they would even start cultivating Teosinte in the first place.
There is a theory for that too, and the key to this is the hard fruit cases. With heat applied to the Teosinte kernels, water is vaporized inside the kernels, cooking the starch and building up pressure until the hard fruit cases can withstand it no more, and it bursts, resulting in fluffy white pulp. Then it's just a matter of growing enough plants to support the cities with the Mesoamerican civilization.
And that was not as easy as it sounds. The Aztec solution was the Chinampa, artificial islands that were created by building up extensions of soil into freshwater lakes. The Chinampas were made from layering mud over tree trunks stuck in the lake until you had a legitimate island. With these islands, they could grow enough food for their massive capital of Tenochtitlan. They transported the food from the Chinampas back in a series of canals. That's right, Tenochtitlan had canals. Just like that, the water the city sat on, however, was brackish, or semi-salt water, and not so good for farming with. To fix this problem, the Aztecs built a series of dams to keep out the salt water and control the levels of the lake. The dams even were complete with a system of channels. You'd actually be surprised by how many technological innovations pre-Columbian indigenous peoples had built. If you go on my channel, I released a video talking about just a few of these amazing technologies.
Fantastic. I'll grab the popcorn, or the Teosinte, head over to Step Back History and find out what else the Aztecs invented. You'll find links to the video in all the usual places.
Man, they always trying to know about our history, man. Don't y'all ride your own jobs. So yeah, let me read this real quick. So maize, right, commonly known as corn, was domesticated from grass species called teosinte almost 9,000, 10,000, 8,000 years ago, right? Humans were able to tame corn to grow large, hardy stocks. But teosinte, right? Teosinte remained a small grass because it developed a defense to breeding with corn. Sexually, breeding plants like corn and grass reproduce when the male part of the plant releases pollen that gets caught into the female part of the plant inside of the flower center. When the flower senses that the pollen has fallen into the flower, a cascade of hormonal changes along the pollen to form a tube to the ovary to finally fertilize the flower. It is common that closely related species of plants may pollinate one another in a phenom- phenomenon called crossbreeding. So this is the maize pollen does not function on teosinte silks. Teosinte pollen, maize pollen, ensure me okay. So it says a collection of genes recently characterized in teosinte suggests that when maize pollen falls into flower of teosinte, the teosinte produces proteins which weakens the tube that the pollen forms in its way to the ovary. The tube breaks down the effectively crossbreeding between maize and its ancestor cannot occur. The crossbreeding ability between maize and teosinte was not always like this. Thousands of years ago, it is very likely that the two were able to crossbreed like other grass species. However, after maize was domesticated and isolated, each species continued to evolve. Genetic evolution as a use it or lose it method. So when two species are isolated, the ability to interbreed is lost. Alewa.